when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. We'll be first starting our interview segment for this morning with Presiding Officer of the Tobago House of Assembly, Miss Abby Taylor. Good morning, Miss Taylor. All right, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. So
Hello.
hi, Miss Taylor, good morning.
Hi, good night, actually.
Good night. Good
Hi,
night from where you are. Good night. How are you?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm hearing big things are happening on behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly over there in Sydney. So that's what we'll be going through
Indeed.
this morning, right? So first, let
Yes.
me ask you, who are the delegates that are representing our assembly this morning, or well, from November 2nd to 14th, or 10th, my bad, in Sydney?
Well, I am accompanied by Assemblywoman Zarisha Hackett. She's our leader of Assembly business at the Assembly Legislature. Also with me is my clerk of the Assembly, Mr. Lincoln Nelson, and also Minority Leader, Mr. Kelvin Morris.
I heard, the tonation in that last part. Permit me to ask you, what sparked the idea of having a minority leader join you all?
Um, well, this is what democracy is all about. Democracy is everybody having a say in governance, and of course, the minority leader is part of that process. So he's welcomed and always invited to conferences like these.
Okay, all right. And what is the main aim for the THA's presence in Sydney? I know that it is the 67th Commonwealth sitting. So what is the main aim of our presence there? What do you hope to spark? What goals do you hope to accomplish over there?
Well, we are part of a larger contingent from the country of Trinidad and Tobago,
Okay.
and we are here simply as observers, unfortunately, because we are not able to make laws in Tobago, we only could play the part of observer to our delegates in Trinidad, the national parliament. So that's basically what we're here to do. We're here to observe the process. That simply means that we don't have voting rights here at the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. But we also have a say in some of the workshops that are going on. The workshops are open to all members of the conference and, representing our little island of Tobago here in Sydney.
Okay. So there was a press release from the Minority Leaders Office. It highlighted that there are certain goals that you hope to accomplish when it comes to implementing certain things for our governance. Could you shed some light on those goals?
Well, I wasn't privy to the press release that the minority leader would have put out. However, at these conferences, I think it's a time where we get to learn what other jurisdictions are doing to kind of compare and contrast to see if we are moving along with the trend. And I must say, the Assembly Legislature is almost, if not on par with a lot of our larger parliaments or other jurisdictions, even here in the Caribbean, we have made considerable strides at the legislature with regards to digitalization and introducing digital innovation into the legislature, something that I'm extremely proud of. I'm also very much proud of our youth and women in politics in general, and having representation on that level for women. That is something that is heavily discussed at the CPA, at all CPA conferences. As a matter of fact, what I'm especially proud of for our women in the Caribbean region is that Honorable Member Miss Valerie Woods. She is the Speaker for Belize. She was elected chairperson of the Small Branches Association here at Sydney. That is a considerable feat. She's the first Caribbean person to do so, to hold this position. And as a female in politics, as a woman in politics, I am just in awe of the strides that we have made as politicians, as females, as women in politics. That against the backdrop of, the American election, and seeing what this glass ceiling, this proverbial glass ceiling that exists for us as women, I think that is something that is commendable, and I would definitely start to encourage more women to get into politics because we're definitely at the helm. So the CPA presents opportunities for us to grow, for us to learn, for us to share ideas and to compare and to ensure that we as a small jurisdiction um, could help chart the way forward for legislatures and parliaments in general.
Okay. All right. I think you have some amazing points there in terms of women in politics. And yes, we do have somewhat of a glass ceiling above us when it comes to some of us making some of our decisions, especially on the public platforms. I think
Yes.
yourself and Ms. Hackett are proven to be doing your jobs very well as women in politics. All right. So
Thank
the encouragement, you're welcome. The encouragement goes out to all. All right. So there are a lot of you said that a lot of policies will be put in place. Now I'm coming off of this as in the minority leader being with you. I know this is two these sides are opposing, right? So what can we look forward to in terms of the policies when you all are back? In terms of the policies made together, what can we look forward to in terms of that?
Well, I definitely think it presents an opportunity for us to sit and have a little bit more robust conversation where things like security for our members are concerned. Um, what else can we possibly talk about? Just the everyday operations of the house. I mean, we have a very healthy democracy, I would say, here in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's something that should not be taken for granted because a lot of jurisdictions, a lot of other places don't have the luxury of the type of democracy that we have. I mean, we often take it for jokes that some parliamentarians actually fight each other in the house. But we have a very cordial working relationship, and that is something I really appreciate. Um, I think what we should all be mindful of, and it's not necessarily a policy that we would like to adopt, but it's just a change in culture, is how we interact with each other, showing that level of respect towards each other is something that could definitely be spoken about a little bit more, because as I said, our democracy is very, very healthy here in Trinidad and Tobago. Um, because at the end of the day, we have young persons looking on, and we have to ensure that we set the best example moving forward. Other than that, I think that the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association is a great institution for us to continue to learn and grow, especially with the talks of autonomy. Hoping that whatever the result may be within that conversation, that Tobago would be ready for the type of work that has to happen to ensure that whatever we have existing right now continues or even gets better in the future.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Abby Taylor, for joining us this morning. For viewers that are just joining us, this was Miss Abby Taylor, the presiding officer of the Tobago House of Assembly, currently in Australia, Sydney, Australia, for the 67th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference, along with a very strong team, I should say. And
Very
based on
strong team.
yes. And based on what you've said, I look forward to what you all can bring back to our country from what you all have learned and from what we can do as a Tobago to better our island and further better our Trinidad and Tobago, our country. Right? So, Miss Taylor, thank you so much once again for joining us. To our viewers that are still
Thank
with
you
us,
so much.
I do encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.